Yo, what is going on, everyone? It is Wraith here, back with another video. Now, if you guys don't know, Twitter Fortnite Competitive just released a blog basically stating all new kind of competitive updates for 2021, especially specifically towards FNCS. So if you guys haven't checked that out, definitely check it out. I'll kind of give a brief overview. But basically in today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can start preparing, start finding a trio, start getting better, and start working towards your goal of doing really well in Trio FNCS. Because if you guys don't know, Trio FNCS is going to be all of 2021. Like, there's no solo FNCS, no duos, no squads. It's going to all be trios. So if you're looking forward to this video, make sure you slap a like button on it, comment what you want to see for a future video, hit that subscribe button, use creator code WraithFN in the item shop, and let's get into it. So like I said, just a brief overview. The Twitter link will be in the description down below if you guys want to check out the blog. But basically, for, like I said, all of 2021, it's going to be Trio FNCS. There'll be cash cups on Saturday, I'm pretty sure, for solos. The prize pool for this year is going to be $20 million instead of last year, which was $17 million. As well as, unfortunately for you console players, there is no console prize pool for FNCS. They said they will be doing a lot of console cups and kind of tournaments to kind of make up for that. But basically, if you're on PC, really good year for you because you obviously can do well in FNCS. If you're on console, like I said, you can still pop off, still make some money because they're going to be doing solo, duo, trio, cash cups, etc., etc. But yeah, that's basically it for the overview, and now let's get into the tips. So tip one, and if you don't have a trio, this is going to be the first thing you're going to have to do, and the most important, and it's find a solid trio. So basically how you do that is the best way is if you don't have any friends to play with who are similar to your skill level, you're going to join Discord channels for whatever region you're on, whether it's Mayhem, NA West, NA East Open, Atlantis, Benji Fishy, Customs, whatever the case is. I'll leave a link in the description below for a video that you can use to kind of find Discords. But basically you're going to want to find one for your region, and then you can go join the region or go join the Discord for whatever region you're on, and there'll be kind of tons of sub places that you can go to. It'll be like looking for players, looking for team, etc., etc. So basically, once you join the Discord, you're going to want to start looking for a trio to play with. If you guys have never done that before, basically what it kind of symbolizes, or whatever the word is, basically what it is you're going to put your username and say, my name's WraithAM and I'm looking for a trio. If someone DMs you or you DM someone, you're most likely going to have to give your username so they can look you up on Tracker Network. And in my opinion, when you're looking for people, if you don't know your Tracker Network, just look up Tracker Network, put your username in, it'll basically tell you what your PR ranking is, if you had any money earned, etc., etc. But basically, for majority of the time, you're going to have to look up people's kind of Tracker Network, and they're going to look up yours, and you kind of want to find people who are similar to you, similar PR ranking for your region, similar earnings. Don't go and try and find someone with $10,000 earned when you only have $200 or $800 or $0 earned, because majority of the time you're just wasting their time. They're most likely not going to play with you. You can be as good as Booga, as good as Benji Fishy, but most likely if you don't have PR or earnings, it's very unlikely that they'll even try you out if they have high earnings. If you have like $1,000, $2,000 earned, obviously you can go for those higher earned players. But if you have like 0 to 1,000, whatever the case is, no big deal. Just try and find someone who's similar to you, similar PR rankings, etc., etc. If you want, you can even kind of talk about your top rankings and people kind of look through there. But like I said, don't go for those top guys. You're just kind of wasting a little bit of time, as well as the fact, even if for somehow you're $200 earned and you play with a $10,000 earn, eventually most likely they're going to drop you for another trio. So in my opinion, I would just find people who are similar to you. Don't go looking for someone way worse than you. Don't go looking for someone way better than you, because eventually you're either going to drop someone or that you're going to get dropped. So just find someone that's similar to you. In my opinion, that's kind of the best way to go with it. So once you found a duo to play with, and then you guys find a trio on top of that, or you just find a duo who is looking for a trio, basically this is where you kind of try out with a couple ones, and this is the most important part in my opinion. So basically when you guys are trying out, there's a couple things that in my opinion you want to look out for kind of the most. The first thing would be kind of pay attention to how good their comms are. If it's just like you just started playing, obviously it's going to be a little bit rough. You guys might not know each other, might not be as comfortable, but just start paying attention. If you guys have played for like a day, and don't just play 1 or 2 games with people, like give it a full day. If you play 1 or 2 games, you could have a bad death, someone can miss a shot, whatever the case is. Not a big deal. Like, play a full couple days, whatever the case with each trio, unless there's like something obviously really wrong with it. Play a couple days, but start paying attention to how comms are. Are they really vocal? Do they just go push people randomly without telling you and your duo or you guys? Are they negative? Are they positive people? Like, if they're negative, every single time you die, they just say, why do you do that, blah 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 blah, and start getting mad at you. Obviously not someone you want to play with. You want to play with someone and be like, hey, like, maybe don't push up that next time. Like, if just hang back or let us know you're pushing. Like, that's the kind of positivity you want to have, because the more positive you are, the more positive your group's going to be. Even if things are going bad in FNCS or tournaments, if you keep remaining positive, just things are going to go a lot better. So you want to find people who are positive, not really that negative. Another thing is they're on as much as you are. If you play 8 hours a day and you're finding a trio who's only on for 30 minutes, probably not the best thing, just because you can't grind as much as you want. Same thing, if they're on for 8 hours a day and you're on for 30 minutes, probably not the best thing, just because they're going to kind of get frustrated a little bit. Like I said, don't solo push. Like, if your trio solo pushes every time, no matter how many times you be like, hey, don't solo push, they still do it, probably not the best time ever. But basically, yeah, there's no harm in trying out different trios. Just look for kind of those things. There's tons of things you can look for. Like I said, don't just play like 2 games. It's so frustrating when you're looking for a duo or trio or something like that, and you play 1 game and the person's like, you die for some reason. They're like, oh, sorry, and then they leave or whatever. Like, you're just wasting both your time. Play a full day unless there's something really like obvious that you just don't want to deal with. Play a couple games, play a day, whatever you want, but just don't play 1 or 2 games. So hopefully, after a couple days, you found a solid trio. Again, it doesn't have to be absolutely unbelievable. Like, you guys don't have to pair and be dropping 20 kill games every single game, winning every custom. Just find 2 players who are both solid, around your skill level, who are positive, who want to improve and who want to do better. That's really all you can look for. Don't be looking for like Booga or Benji Fishy or something. You're not going to find that person like that unless you have hundreds of thousands of dollars earned. But basically, once you find a trio, you basically want to start work. I've said basically a billion times, but you want to be working as much as possible together and start practicing as much as possible. Right now, if you're really serious about trio FNCS and you really want to do as best you can, maybe even win some money, stop focusing on solos, duos, start focusing on trios. So basically, the best things to do, in my opinion, would be play trios arena and start working on your guys' comms while fighting, because fighting is going to be super important, whether you need to W key team or you get W keyed. Knowing how to fight, working together instead of just solo pushing every single person in a fight is super important. Like, if you can 3v1 or 2v1 or even 2v2 instead of getting like out-ratioed and getting 1v2'd or something like that, super important to know how to fight as a team, and you can only really do that by getting into fights. Kind of the same idea as when I always say, when you want to improve, go W key people. It's kind of the same thing with trios. If you want to improve as a trio, go W key people in arena and practice that. Not only that, but you also want to be working on customs. You obviously want to be working on your end games, your guys' rotations, because in FNCS, majority of the games are going to have Storm Surge, especially if you're making semifinals, reboot round, finals, etc. So you're going to want to know how to play end games. Super important, and you can do that by playing customs. And again, if you don't know how to play customs, it's through those discords. The next would be kind of deciding on roles, like who's the IGL, who frags, who's the tarpers, etc. Like, just things like that. Super easy. You can figure those out during fights, whatever the case is. Work on a drop location. Where are you going to land? Are you landing Steam? Are you landing in a no name POI, Salty, Holly, wherever the case is? Start working on drop spot. Obviously, it's going to change throughout the year with new maps and stuff like that, but you can always kind of readjust. You want to kind of find a solid place. Start VOD reviewing your custom, start working on things. Just things like that is just super important. Now, the next and final tip I'm going to give you guys is, no matter what you do, unless there's an actual like problem, don't split as a trio if like something goes wrong. Like, if you have a bad first weekend in your FNCS, you have one bad night or whatever the case is, and you guys don't even make the semis, or you don't even finish top 1,000, or whatever your goal is, you just don't do solidly. Don't just instantly be like, okay, whatever, we're splitting, go find someone else and restart the entire progress, right? Because you're going to have to go back to step 2, which is you're just, the last 2 weeks you've been practicing, last week is just for nothing, right? Like I said, trio FNCS is all of 2021. So think about it. If you stick with the same trio for the next year, you're going to be way ahead at the end of the year if someone who just finds a trio for FNCS doesn't do good, quits, finds another trio for the next FNCS, doesn't do good, quits, find next FNCS. If you guys work every single FNCS to figure out what's wrong with your gameplay, why you dying, why you didn't make semis, why you didn't do good that tournament, every single time you're just going to keep improving, keep getting better, so then in the long run you're going to do eventually way better than you're doing, and hopefully even make finals, do something like that. Like if you're on the verge of making, you guys are just disappointed, just take a couple days off. Don't just be like, okay, I'm going to go find a new trio, right? Or if someone dies 3 games in a row, sometimes it happens. Like you don't always have to blame it. Obviously if there's a problem, like at the end of the time they're just raging at you, calling you the worst player, blah blah blah, like obviously find a new trio. Like don't stick with that. If they're negative, whatever the case is, if there's obviously like a major problem that you see, or like they don't even show up for the FNCS, like something happened, obviously if they don't have an excuse, but if they're just like, oh yeah, I went out with my friends or something like that, obviously like you want to find another trio. But unless something happens and you guys did somewhat decent, you guys have been playing good, you guys have been practicing, just something doesn't go wrong for that, or something goes wrong for that FNCS or that tournament, not a big deal. Just stick with it. It's all of 2021. You guys have plenty of practice, plenty of time to improve, get better for the next one. So yeah, basically my last thing I'm going to say is don't just drop your trio if possible, unless there's an actual reason to do that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you slap a like button on it, comment what you want to see for a future video, hit that subscribe button, use creator code WraithFN in the item shop. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.